Welcome back, all my 40K fanatics out there. I'm DJ here with Tim's Nation, once again joined by Nico and his 1,000 Sons. Rematch time, guys, rematch. So my last list, I didn't have as much of the competitive Necron tech, and 1,000 Sons got beat up a little bit, didn't they?
Yeah, it took a little bit of a nerf. Yeah.
So we're going to see a little bit of different, a newcomer to the channel in your list that we were talking about before, and I know I'm speeding through it kind of, but me and Nico took a minute when we were setting up and just got distance into all of what our armies could do and what this game is going to be, and I'm real excited to get this on the table.
Absolutely, man. It's going to be a game.
Awesome. So, but first, let's go jump over and see what we're bringing today. Nico, let's talk about your 1,000 Sons.
Absolutely, man. Let's go. So Magnus is my warlord. Brought him with Vortex Beast. I brought Armon on disc with 10 rubrics with flamers. I brought 10 Zangors, the Changeling, Infernal Master with Arcane Vortex, attached to a rubric unit with all flamers. A 1,000 Sun Sorcerer in Terminator armor with the Prolific Crystal. He's got a 10-man Scarab Recall Terminator fully kitted out with him. And they wrote a Zangor Shaman with not Forbidden Lore. I apologize. The Athenian Scroll, because I just had the 20 points and I didn't know what else to do with it. And he is with a unit of Zangor Enlightened. And that's what I've got.
All right. So it's funny that you mentioned having points left over and buying random enhancements, because in my list, I found that I had 10 points left. So the Lord, regular Necron Lord, with an Resurrection Orb in the Overlord's Blade that is leading my Lich Guard with Techno and Crypthrall, has a Centriple Weave because it's 10 points and he gets a 4-up Feel No Pain. Also, we got the 3 Doomstalkers, the Canoptek Reanimator, 3 2-man squads of Spiders, 3 3-man squads of Scarabs, the Triarch Stalker, a Technomancer with Cloak and Sovereign Cornell, 6 Locust Destroyers, and a Locust Lord with Res Orb and Veil. So real quick, if you do want a more detailed description of the army, the Canoptek Harvest that I've been working on, I have done a couple videos on the channel. Guys, subscribe to see all the content that we bring you here, and hopefully get Nico out here for more of his 1,000 Sons. Hit that bell. And not only 1,000 Sons, but what else were you talking about? Maybe a little
My all-terrains will be back to fully painted probably within a week and a half.
I can't wait. One of these days we'll get you for one of the longer battle reports. This is one of the shorter ones we try and do, where we're just going to do the end of turn and maybe some other interesting things that happen throughout the turn that are like effective. Last time with you, we actually, how your army just expanded across the table. It's so fast. Was really cool to see. And I got to say, like, my personal opinion after playing that game against 1,000 Sons, I didn't think they were that broken. I thought they were cool. They were really fun to play against. The only issue I had was Doombolt not being a psychic attack. That's been addressed. And I don't think that they really needed as big of a hit as they got.
It's technically not a psychic attack.
It's still not? I thought that was the whole change, that it was anything that does damage is considered a psychic attack.
I don't think so. I sent you something on it. You remember that?
Correct. And I thought that was the thing that was saying that. Well, we'll take a look at that.
I brought it up in the past in Canton, and I got overruled.
That it was a psychic attack?
In a match against 1,000 Sons versus 1,000 Sons.
Interesting. We'll take a look at that. We can put that up on the screen because I remember the message that you had sent to me about that. And I thought when I read that was that they had fixed that, so it was the actual damage. That's the only thing that I didn't like personally, was the fact of having something that does damage not be an attack. And I thought that it should fall in that category just because a lot of other rules have been cleaned up.
Yep.
And it just felt like this was something that was kind of floating in a random category that a loose end needed to be tied.
The only thing you can do is get a Feel No Pain against mortals. That's it.
Yes, exactly. But I liked that it was gauged there. I mean, obviously, I like that it was gauged there. I got spiders that give me a Feel No Pain against like attack. So,
and Tyranids use it too. They have that strat too.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's anytime that you can take something like that and one piece, especially a very critical piece in the 1,000 Sons army, having psychic damage and just 50-50 it. I mean, that can be game ending right there.
All right, let's roll this die.
I love it. All right, odd or even, sir?
It's going to be odd today.
It is even.
That was a crappy roll. That was still a crappy roll.
I mean, I think that's the most majestic roll that I've ever had.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Nico, you can deploy first. We'll be back after deployment. All right, we are deployed. And the question that we was asking before we got this all set up, you can see I'll put it up here on the screen. Actually, in the rule book, it says basically that anything that it has the psychic tag that does damage, mortal wounds, anything. This includes if you do it to yourself. It is considered a psychic attack, so feel no pains that do on psychic attacks can be used accordingly. All right, so there is only 3 objective markers in the middle. Nico, why don't you tell us what is the deployment that we're doing today, and what is the mission, and what's going on here?
Oh, we're search and destroy, and our mission is sweep and clear and the ritual. So the ritual, we have to go and pretty much perform a ritual in the middle by the no man's land objective. The only one available is the middle one. 9 inches away. We're not eligible to shoot anymore. And we spawn an objective. So, yeah, it's hold 1, hold 2, hold more?
No, hold
5 points for each, yeah.
Correct.
Up to 15. So, yeah, it's going to be the race to deploy an objective or perform a ritual for an objective.
Yeah, no, I think we're both in kind of the reasoning it's going to happen on the first turn. We got to do it on the first turn. We got to make some way that it's going to happen. Because also in this one, the mission is sweep and clear. So, I mean, sticky objectives probably won't play a big factor in this one, but it is a thing. It definitely will be a thing. All right.
It's a thing.
So starting with deployment, over here I have my Doomstalkers hiding back around the corner, able to draw a lane right up the middle over the Lich Guard, as well as being able to step out to the left side or the right side to draw firing lanes over there if necessary, but staying defensive. Locusts are back here in the corner with a veil of darkness to be able to pop out, depending if I go first or second. Reanimators in position to protect the center. And we got a squad of spiders back here giving off a 6-up, feel no pain, or 4-up versus mortal wounds from psychic attacks. Same deal in the middle. We're just preparing our push. We got a squad of scarabs here to be able to drop that objective on turn 1. And then another squad of scarabs over here for engage on all front plays and just to start getting to the corners. So that's what I'm looking at for my deployment. Nico, talk to us a little bit about yours.
So what I've got going on is some things out of line of sight, and by some I mean everything. Zangors are on the objective to try to get me some additional Cabal points. I've got my Flamers prepared to go into the middle. Magnus pretty much staged to immediately bum rush something. And then everything else is kind of just in position to attack. Terminators to teleport. Changelings in Deep Strike, and Enlightened are in reserves.
Yeah, I was considering putting my Locust in strategic, but since this is the first time I've run this list, I wanted to put them out on the table just to have all my resources available right here at the start of the game, and then start getting tricky with stuff later on. So all that's left is a roll to go first. Nico, what are you hoping for?
I don't really know. You have to veil at the end of my turn, correct?
Correct. The veil trigger, I have to declare that I'm veiling at the end of your turn, and then I drop them back in my...
I want to go second.
You'd like to go second?
Sure.
Yeah,
You're going to flood the board, unfortunately.
I'd like to go second as well, because then, like you just said, with the veil, my first turn, I can have the Locust in a better position. And again, like with the terrain and how dense the terrain is, this is a Games Workshop terrain setup. It's not like I'm going to do very much on turn 1. So I would definitely like to go second, if applicable. 5. Oh. All right, so it will be Nico. You will be going first, and we'll be back after. I had to think about that for a second. I was like, wait, I rolled lower. That means I was like, oh, wait, I lost the roll, but I wanted to lose the roll. All right, yes, I'm going second. So Nico, we'll be back after your turn 1. All right, so conclusion of Nico's turn. Couple things happened here. We lost a squad of scarabs right over here. Nico dropped in. Magnus and the Terminators picked up the scarabs and tried to take out the Triarch Stalker. This is the first time really seeing it. That 4-up feel no pain for against psychic attacks really, really coming in clutch to keep him alive. Nico, thoughts on the turn?
I wish I would have done a little more damage. And that's okay, though. I probably could have just killed another unit of scarabs instead and gotten some more points and ignored the Triarch Stalker, but I think that I had to do what I tried to do, is to max my score.
If I didn't spike the dice on a couple of those feel no pains, there was at least there was a couple times that I did
The 4-up invulns was where you spiked it.
that too. I was able to be defensive with him just enough to keep him around, and it could have went the other way on that.
It's all right. Hopefully I can roll 4-up invulns on the other side.
Yep, and the objective marker is not dropped yet, but I think I'll be dropping mine into my turn. All right, here we go. So Nico, oh yeah, Nico scored the 1 kill for no prisoners. All right, so into my turn, I was able to drop my objective marker with the scarabs right over here, and then get the Lich Guard moving up to hold both of them. Doomstalkers moved into position, and we're able to put a hurting on the Terminators because every failed save is a dead Terminator with 3 damage weapons. Spiders flew up and did a bunch of mortal wounds, as well as the Locust Destroyers got a good angle to shoot at some of the Terminators up there. Unfortunately, we weren't able to take them down. One of my secondaries was no prisoners, and I was really hoping to take them out. They're tough, man. They're still tough. Terminators are actually tough. So he's still got 2 Termies left and the characters, which one of them is the lieutenant for the squad, the sorcerer for the squad. And yep, there he is. And yeah, so that was pretty much it for my turn. I spent one of my command points on the spiders to pummel them with mortal wounds, help pummel them, but wasn't enough. So I'll score 3 on engage on all fronts and pass the turn to Nico. Nico with a huge turn, getting 13 on secondary, 0 on primary, but he is also pushing me on a 0 on primary by double moving the rubrics up the middle. He was able to tag both objective markers and have more objective control value than I do. Scarabs are dead all over the board. All the scarabs are gone. Vortex Beast smashed through them, but they blew up and did a little damage to him on the way out. Lost 1 squad of spiders. Reanimation hopefully will bring them back, and lost the Triarch. As far as everything else, Magnus rushed in, killed 1 spider, and then piled into the Locust so they can't bail out of the way. He's still fully fresh. Terminators ran in here and helped beat up the spiders a little more. The Feel No Pain for Psychic Attack is coming in huge. So big turn. Nico, how you feeling about that turnaround now?
Feeling all right.
Wow. Man of few words.
Feeling all right. It's a stupid plan, but we'll see if it works.
All right, guys. So I'll be back into my turn and see what I can answer back with. All right. So my secondary switch turn were Tempting Target and Overwhelming Force. So I proceeded to push up on the middle and clear the rubrics out of there with the Lich Guard quite easily. Didn't lose a guy or anything. I mean, it's Lich Guard going into 5 rubric Marines. What do you expect? Over here was really interesting, though. So fell back with the spiders because I didn't want to. So I did a whole bunch of shenanigans during Nico's turn, where I spent command point, resurrect these guys, and then I had the reanimator still here, resurrecting spiders. So the spiders are in a really fun, punchy position right now. Fell back with the 1 squad and brought the other one in. While this spider did get dropped down to 1 wound, he started the turn with 3. And we were able to get rid of most of the actual Terminators. All that's left is the character and the Lieutenant Sorcerer dude. Now over here, Nico chose to spend a command point on the Precision Challenge stratagem and pick off the Locust Lord. So now I do not have a Resurrection Orb, which I would have had going forward, and the Veil is gone too. So Magnus is going to be able to just stand there and pick up the Locust Destroyers as he wishes. Doomstalker was able to do a little bit of damage to Magnus. What did we get him down to? We did 4 damage to him?
The Doomstalker? No, the Locust did the 4 damage. The Doomstalker did nothing.
Okay, but that's all we got was 4 damage.
Yeah,
He's got, what, 12 left?
Yes.
Okay. But these do. Now, while that Doomstalker did not do anything, these 2, however, did. Taking the Mutalic Vortex Beast out of here, which I was very happy about.
Yep.
So, not a bad turn. Not a bad turn. I mean, I'm going to lose my Locust. I'm probably going to lose my corner here in a little bit of time because I don't really have an answer to Magnus. He's going to whoop and wall up my Locust Destroyers here pretty quickly, but I do control the center at this point. So let's see how Nico answers back. All right, Magnus is whittling away the Destroyers. There's only 2 left. We'll get a little bit of a reanimation over here, but it's just a matter of time. Over here, we lost some spiders into some psychic powers, and we're down to 1. And this guy over here, both spiders have 3 wounds left and are down to 1. So it's going to be almost impossible to resurrect a spider out of either one of those. I'm going to need back-to-back. Yeah, I'm going to, well, no, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to resurrect a spider out of one of those. Excuse me. Over the middle, Nico played some interesting little crazy tricks. He charged the Zangors in and was able to take this objective from me and then beat up some of my Lich Guard. Really good with the shooting. So right now, this objective marker is contested. And he took this one from me. So I'm only going to be able to get a 5 on primary after resurrecting, after doing some resurrections and stuff by taking back objective marker number 3. Nico had area denial as his secondaries as well as extend battle lines. His trick, which I really liked, he dropped in the changeling, and he's actually underneath. We're just putting him here right now so we can talk about what's going on. He drops him in, and then he chose to have him drop the objective marker 9 inches away off of mine in a real nice, safe position. So that's going to be the one that he's going to be able to start scoring off of. And
I was supposed to do that turn 2, guys, and I totally forgot to do it.
Well, now it's in an even safer position. So we'll it's going to move over to my turn, see how I can answer back to all this carnage. All right, so some things went well and some things went bad. We were able to retake this objective marker over here from the Zangors, and we did sticky this one because of our reanimations, but unfortunately we were not able to kill any characters, which is something I wanted to do because of Assassinate. My last little spider over here battle shocked, so I was not able to tank shock or CP reroll his charge, and we left this sorcerer with 3 wounds left. Magnus is finally breaking out of combat, still at 12 wounds. And the Doomstalkers, well, they picked up some of the Rubric Marines in the middle, but not quite enough. And again, we're not able to fully finish off the squad of Terminators. So we're actually getting stuck on a 0 on secondary at this time, but we're in a good position for later primary. We just need to be safe. I pitched a Bring It Down for obvious reasons, and I will keep Assassination to try and pick off some of these characters and score some points. Could possibly even score that in Nico's turn. All right, so Nico, what were the secondaries you had for this turn?
I got behind enemy lines and deploy teleport homer. So didn't move, deploy teleport homer. Behind enemy lines. I fell back with my 1 Zangor. Shaman, he double moved to come over here. Changeling moved further back. These guys moved up, took the objective. So he's getting 5 for primary.
For now. All right, yeah, so there was, and then over here we lost the Doomstalker, and we rezzed and then re-lost the Spider. So we're going to have to do some reanimations. We did come out of this turn with a command point, so it's going to be pretty helpful going into the next turn and seeing what we can make happen. All right, so we weren't really able to get as much damage out of here as I would have liked. Still didn't pick up this character for Assassinate, and we're not able to pick up Airman either. I had Cleanse and Assassinate were that, and I was hoping to get a big 10 out of this turn, so hopefully I can once again kill a character in Nico's turn. We picked up the Rubrics, but we didn't pick up Airman with the Lich Guard. I didn't want to over-dedicate into it. And yeah, so we're going to need to see what we can do to close out this game. I think it's going to be really tight. It's going to be really tight, and we're going to push over to Nico and see what he can happen. All right, so Nico got some crazy secondaries. Engage on all fronts, and what was the other one? Investigate signals. And he was definitely in a position to do all of them. So
I did all
what
of
a nightmare. Yeah. So right there, that ended up turning into a 13-point turn. Man, better lucky
plus 5 from primary.
Plus 5 on that. So we're going to get over to me and my last turn and see if I can close out this gap. Otherwise, this may be a super good come from behind victory. So fingers crossed, the cards are with me. So with extend battlefield lines and deploy teleport homers, as well as getting the assassination off of an Overwatch, was able to make sure and keep and pull out the win in this game. The final score, Necrons 66, tzeentch, Thousand Suns 64. Very, very tight, very close game. We'll talk. Give us a second to get situated, and we'll talk and give our responses to this game. All right, guys. Final score: Necrons 66, Thousand Suns 64. Vengeance vengeance for the Necrons after the crushing defeat last time. You got your little Sagecaster there. He just hung out today.
Dude, he was the man.
He was. He's just a little late to the party.
I know. I should have brought him in a turn earlier, done my plan. I had a good plan, which was to deny you scoring primary and not score primary myself in the process, but then just continue to take you off your own objectives.
Yeah, it was. And that was kind of like, there were some moments where my dice got super hot, where like when I was making feel no pains, there was no stopping me. But then when I was trying to clear that center, I just could not I couldn't get enough consistency in the clear. And I'm going to look back over that and see if there was some way I could have, should have, would have done that better. I think I was trying to take the two objectives at middle too quickly and too powerfully. And you were able to keep ding, ding. I got OC2. I got OC2.
Should have just blocked that one objective.
I should have blocked out one objective, cleared everything, went to the next objective, cleared everything, and I probably would have gotten 10 points or one turn sooner. Maybe. I mean, there's other factors into it, but I think that would have been my best shot at it. And I think I tried to do too much too quickly. So all in all, though, I'm happy with most of the list except for the Locust Destroyers. I'm not sure if I want to keep them in. It's tough. I mean, granted, they kept Magnus busy for a good portion of the game, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe it was the matchup, but I'm not 100% sure about them. But that's from my side.
I don't know. I think I did the right things. Really do. I think I made your decisions very tough.
There was definitely some very tough decisions. There were some crazy dice rolls where certain things I was like, oh, okay, this
should be dead.
Yeah, it should be dead. And then no, it's still there.
It's alive.
Spiders were definitely given a rub. I think the spiders are great. I think the spiders are absolutely amazing. There's so much work you have to do to kill them. It's just a nightmare. I just wasn't happy with the Locust. Now, on your side, how are you feeling about the changes afterwards?
The Zangors, I'm actually happy with how they performed. I was able to play the mission incredibly well.
Yeah, you did a phenomenal job, Nico. Honestly, there was a lot. I had a lot of opportunities to be able to run away with that game at one teeny tiny mistake, and I ran away with that game. And you made sure to not give those opportunities.
Yeah, and the only thing it can change is take the Changeling out and bring 2 units of Zangor and Lighten, but I don't think I need to do that. I think that he adds so much to the list that Deep Strike, one model, block me out, do any action, is really good.
Yep. No, I agree with that.
That's why I'm holding him, guys, because he's my MVP still. Magnus is unkillable in this kind of build that you're doing. He's really tough to kill, and he just ran amok. And my goal with him was to get to your deployment zone and just hope I drew the right secondaries.
You did in perfect order. Your secondary game, this one, I couldn't even slow you down at all. Like, I tried, and then I was like, oh, by the way, I'm just going to draw here. Let me just draw investigate signals with 4 units in corner and engage on all fronts. Yeah, let's let me just say,
I watched the guard player do that the other day.
You just flipped 2 cards and scored 13. Like, literally, you're like, huh. And I just watched you walk around the table, go, this guy's here, this here.
So they all move 12 inches.
And you're like, I'm good. Okay, what do I need to do? Magnus completing an action. That's crazy. I bet that happens more than you would think, where you have him just late in the game just go, oh, okay, I'm going to deploy teleport homers in your deployment zone.
Well, not really. To be honest, he's capturing the enemy outpost. That's what he's doing. But no, I was very happy with the way I played. I think that you played an outstanding game as well. I do think that
my center could have been a little bit better. I need to look over that and see my map on that.
But I also made it so that you kind of had to act the way you did.
I could, yes and no. I feel like at some point with those 2 objectives, I could have, I was pushing in the wrong direction. I feel like when I moved, I had more of a move, and I could have, but I have to look back over. I have to look back over and see where it might have been. I mean, granted, yes, you hit me from 2 angles, so you could be correct. Once I look at that, I might not see an out. There may be no way out of that angle. But at the same time, I got to take a second look at that and see if there was any way to possibly, because if the Zangors fail to charge, if I don't let the Zangors charge, I can control one objective with nothing and reanimate onto the other one and get the 10 points there. Where were those opportunities that I had to score those points I could have gotten through that? My secondaries were really rough.
So the reason that happened was because we had the 5 rubrics, and I spread them to draw you in that way.
Oh, you wanted both the easy points. Come take me. Come take my objective. But no,
there was a draw. It was a trap. I was trying to get you to spread yourself thin.
I could have played. I could, but again, I could have. I didn't have to take out 5 rubrics.
It's the same thing that I did when you had the 20-man warrior blob. I pincered you on 2 angles, and then I get you stuck because you're spread thin, and you have to leave guys then at that point.
I see that, and I see that being a very capable, but at the same time, too, with that 5-man that's stretched, I don't need to fully engage into them. I can crash on one side of that and just hit with all the Lich Guard there and let the wounds bleed through. So, and that's what I'm wondering is, like, could I have approached that from a different angle to tag in there? And at the same time, too, with, like, other stuff like the spiders and where the spiders were positioned, could I have drawn back sooner?
We also have to remember I'm stupid durable. So when you do stuff like that, you kind of open yourself up to me being like, okay, I reduce this one to 0, I reroll this save, and
that was getting annoying.
With that Infernal Master too, I can change the save from a failed save to a 6,
and that was getting real annoying.
So it's just I can like play around, and it's like, okay, now 3 of my failed saves are now saves, and
so if someone tries to math hammer you, you're able to go, oh, okay, well, guess what? I can stop.
Turn the dice.
Yeah, turn it
because I'm tzeentch.
Sounds like an Eldar thing.
I am fickle.
But no, I do want to, I'm going to look back over because I feel like there was an opportunity in there that I could have pressed more into the center objective and literally covered the center objective and not try to go after the one I placed as soon and then come back over to it after I cleared the answers, after I picked these things up. But however, one thing that was critical early on in the game, you were about to use airmen and squad company and bring them right into the center and put that and try to get that marker down and everything. And then you held back. You're like, no, I'm going to come over this side. If you didn't have that, if airmen went to center, the Doomstalkers were ending that squad easily. And I was like, oh,
they still ended that squad.
Oh, please.
They still ended the squad
at the end of the game. At the end of the game, hey, and I cut 2 Doomstalkers.
Yeah, I really didn't target them.
They fall down the priority chain. They really do. So, all in all, I'm happy with most of the list. Going to relook in the Locust. Locust is tough. I feel like that, it was the first time playing them.
They held Magnus up for 2 turns. Dude.
They did do that. And that is something to think about. And I mean, they shot and killed some Terminators. And I mean, I can't expect everything to be that crazy performance, I guess. And I mean, everything else did exactly as I was hoping it would. Just weird mission. Weird mission. I'm not sure if I like that. Relics. I'm not sure if I like that. Putting I like it and I don't. It's cool. But man, I
figured it out.
It got in my head. I think you did too. I like that as well. I like that as where if you go second, if you go first, you're kind of compelled to, well, depends on the army. I think that's how you run that. I think you have to wait and you get it on the second turn. Maybe that's just if you go first. It's tough. That's tough because you can also score 5 points on your first turn if you go first.
It depends on what you're playing. If you're playing someone who has a Death Star unit like you, I feel like that's how you have to play it. I really do.
And because I'm going to have to drop my objective early and go out there and hang out.
Because you're going to go out and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you? You don't care if you're not dying. You're just going to walk out. That's what you said. You said when you're deploying, I'm just going to walk out into the front. You can shoot me if you want. That's what you said.
This is true. This is true. That was exactly what I said. I think I maybe been able to put the objective marker a little more close to my deployment zone too. That probably would have been ideal. Yeah. I could have pulled that one back a little bit, but hey, you know what though? At this point in the thing, a win's a win. I'll accept the W, and that means we're 1-1. It sounds like we need a rematch.
Sure. You should have used Sudden Storm turn 1. The 1 CP you had should have Sudden Stormed, and then you could have done that. The reason you did it was because your scarabs were the one that placed the objective.
Yeah, because they had to advance on all fronts.
Yeah, and they had to advance
on turn 1.
But they had to advance. So if you would have done Sudden Storm, you could have placed the objective wherever you wanted.
Probably, yeah. I could have probably done that. That's interesting.
Process.
That's interesting. That could be because I went for the scarabs. I was like, didn't I charge you turn 1? You moved out to middle.
No, I didn't.
Didn't you move out to middle turn 1?
Turn 2. I waited for you to move out.
Interesting. I'm going to look back over that. I like that. I'm going to look back over that and see, and I'll keep that in mind. This is the first time I've ever played this mission. So I will look at that. I'm going to consider that because, I mean, the closer I could have gotten that objective to home, the less work I have to do.
When we drew the mission, I thought we drew the one where you got, and where it's like you have to empower the objective against a Necron player. That's
oh my gosh, I love that one. Yeah, it's just like here.
It's the worst objective.
Yeah,
I thought that's what we got.
I just go to center and score 6 points every turn for that one
12.
objective. It's 3 for the objective,
Dude,
3 for the character.
Oh yeah, all right, you're right.
Yeah. So, all right.
Boom.
Well, once again,
Good
final
game,
score 66-64 Necron victory, which means we're 1-1. The final showdown will have to happen probably in a couple weeks here on the channel. So, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll talk to you again soon.